In this video, we're going to be taking our onFire event, well, function for our Nazi zombie character where we play our animations and moving them over to our weapon. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is taking all this here, copying it. Let's remove it out of our Nazi zombie character, go to our weapon full, and we're going to find our client, so on client fire, and we're going to play them in here. So here we have our fire animation. So what I'm going to do is paste it all in here, clean it up a bit, and do some stuff. So we already have access to our animation montage. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a check. So if FPS arms montage, I copy this and paste everything that says fire montage with it, like so. So if that's the case, then we're good to go. Now what I want to do is get our first person mesh. So we have our shooting player here. So shooting player, get mesh first person, or 1P, get animation instance. So we should have that. Now we need to check if we're aiming. So if shooting player, get is aiming. So if we are aiming, we play the fire aim down sights montage. If we are not, we play the fire hip. I'm going to go ahead and compile. And yeah. We should be pretty much good to go. And later on, we're going to end up cleaning this up as well. And I want to move our reload to this. But this is also going to be when we kind of start going through and cleaning everything up, which I'm probably going to end up doing in the next few videos here once our weapon full auto class is set up. Because like I said, I want to move a lot of the stuff from our weapon semi into our weapon base. So that way it'll just kind of make our lives a lot easier for our select fire. So between the full auto and the semi. Let's see if it works. Which it does. So now let's look at the replication. I fire. So that was probably a little excessive, but everything seems to be good to go. Let's check the server. So the server is having kind of the same dealio, but it's playing the animations for the other clients. So when I tab out to the other client, we should hear a gunshot, like we do. So if I fire, semi-auto is completely fine, but full auto is not working correctly. So let's look and see why that is. So we have our fire function. We call our server full auto fire. Well, actually, what we want to do is we want to check. So if we are the server or not. So if get world is server, we're going to check if we are not the server. Whoops. If we're not the server, then we want to call our server start full auto. So that way everything should be kind of playing like so. So if we are the server, we're going to toggle this to true. Same thing with setting it to false. So we're going to do another check. Same thing here. So if we are not the server, we call our server start full auto, but we make it stop. And now let's look at our client fire. So let me double check, see how that was. Okay, just double checking to make sure I was in the right mindset here. All right, so we call on client fire. And here we go ahead and get everything. So what I'm questioning is if on the server, if this line or something like that is invalid. So I want to check that by printing out a log. Actually, wait, no, because it's playing that very first animation. So some sort of something that we're doing somewhere is probably messing with something. So we play the first start fire. On client fire, we loop call it as well. On client fire. I want to just read the log and see what's going on. Let me actually go to just one client so I can read it easier. Okay, so on client fire, gets fired once. So it's not repeatedly calling it. Let's see, do we have any log being printed out in this server? For Philoto, we do not. I want to do a check just to make sure everything's okay. Pile and save. I'm just kind of a little bit baffled as to what the actual issue here is going to be. It's almost as if the timer itself is not working. Like something is stopping it for some reason. Let's look for every portion of weapon fire handle. We start it, we stop it. That's completely fine and normal. We're not calling stop fire till we release the trigger or our mouse button. The only thing that would be stopping it would be the on rep, but we're also having B as fire set to true at the same time. So that shouldn't be it. Oh, well, whatever it is, fixed it. But what did I even change? You know what? I don't know what I changed. Maybe I just forgot to restart the editor. So I'm guessing that was probably it. So let me test with 2 clients, new Pi window, make sure everything's still good to go. We are. Make sure the animation for the gun plays, which it also does. So we now have our full auto pretty much good to go. The only thing that we need to do now, which have I done that yet? Yes, I have actually. So we call server fire hit results. On server fire implementation, we do the normal checking and we perform the line trace based off of the hit results that got passed in. So server fire implementation, that is in our weapon base. Never mind. Okay, never mind, duh. We perform a loop on the hit results and do it that way. I was being stupid. So we are applying the damage to the zombies. So I'm going to do a quick little test, make sure that's actually the case. Drag you on over and down. And let's just give it a try on client and server. So do a test on the server first. So it's working on the server. Let's try the client. And we're still good to go. So the damage dealio, that's due to, I think pretty sure we're using the 1911's damage right now for this gun. Yeah, we are, because it's very low damage except for the headshot multiplier. So that's why it's taken like, 5 or so shots to kill a zombie. But we now have our full auto set up and replicated. I only want to do one more test, and I want to do that with 3 clients. I'm just playing selected viewport so I can have access to these 2 a little bit easier. Seeing it on the server. And we're seeing everything on the client as well, on both clients. So everything is good to go. It's synced up. The server has the authority over the hits, and that's what we want. So our full auto is pretty much good to go. So what I'm thinking in the next video, we're going to be merging kind of our weapon semi-code into our weapon base, which should be very simple. And then setting up our weapon semi class just to, work properly again. So we're pretty much just going to be calling super and everything at that point. So that way, when we go to our weapon full auto, when we want to test or when we want to fire semi-auto, all we have to do is do a little check here. So if we're firing and is full auto, we fire full auto. That's already set up. Otherwise, is in semi-auto, we just call super, and that's handled for us in our weapon base class. So that's how I want this to be set up. And obviously we're gonna have to do some small changes like setting up our ammo and all that kind of stuff like we did here with our, for the returning, which honestly, we really don't need all that anymore since we're playing our animations from our weapon classes. Same thing, we don't need to pass in the who the shooting player is because we have already set the owner of the weapon to be the shooter. So we're pretty much good to go and set up there. In the next video, we're going to be merging these weapon semi code into our weapon base class, so that way we can simplify it a lot instead of filling up our weapon full auto class. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We might end up making some use out of this for our shotgun as well, depending on how that ends up getting set up, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So if you like what you see and you want to support me, my link to my Patreon is down in the description. And if you have any questions or just want to discuss some maybe ways to do certain things, there's a link to my Discord in the description as well. So I will see you in the next one.